something went on here, something went on there.
This time on TnT,
we break down TnT TV.
we play a new game, Headline or Headlie.
Plus, JR was feeling the burn at the Songwriters Hall of Fame. That's all coming up right now on TnT. Whoa. That was intense.
Fantastic.
And fantastic. Bods, we did it. It's in the can, as we say in this crazy business we call show. We shot our pilot presentation of Taggart and Torrens TV in Halifax this week, and it was bodtastic. It really was.
It was a blast. It was everything that we could have hoped for times 1,000. It really was. We were kind of a little, we didn't know how it was going to go, and just we had this kind of vision of things, the way we put stuff together, and the prizing, the wheel, the bod wheel, the games, the music, and just adding drums and guitar. Like, we had this kind of vision of what it was, and we did 2 shows, right? And it just kind of felt like it was a good move doing 2 shows, but it really was the exact kind of happening that we were hoping to have, and it really,
that's what it felt like. I remember when I was writing on the Junos all those years ago, and I was researching Lightfoot and watching all the 60s music shows. Most of them were in the round,
like the Smothers Brothers.
Yep, and people just sitting around on beanbag chairs blowing darts, and just like, it was a sit-in, like it was a happening, and that was the vibe that we wanted, and that was the vibe that we definitely ended up having. Thanks to the buds that came to both shows. Thank you so much. It wouldn't have happened without you. And the neat thing is, as people know, we play games on the pod, and they're really fun and they're really silly, and then you play them in a live environment with buds playing them with and against us. And that's just a whole nother level.
Yeah, and it was if anyone had come, lots of bods have been to our shows, and the best moments of those shows were always either playing some of those games or the banter, and the banter being kind of fun stories that crack each other up and make us laugh. The fact that we can tell them a couple times, so the feeling in the room was just such a connection, where the people in the audience were as important as we were, and if not more, because it was just a continuous cycle of energy that we were feeding from each other. It was classic stuff.
It was so fun to even in that context play music with you, and you playing drums on these like Canadianity Name That Tune things, which is definitely something we'll do at our live shows. But for example, we did Donovan and Phil, but brought a bud up to lay down the vocals to a tune. So a bud and Phil are sharing a mic, doing a song, and Donovan's commenting on what's happening. Like, the marriage of real and fake. There were 2 things that I was really left with as far as what got me really excited. One is the level of buy-in from buds, and we've seen that in our live shows before, that people are so excited to be there and meet each other and form little secret bud societies. Everyone who was interested in coming up on stage or potentially playing a game wrote their name down and put it in a bod bucket. And so part of it was get your bod up here, and we just called out names at random. Everyone who came up on stage was so excited to be there, was all in, happy to play along. And the second thing was, even for things like Blank Look and Mask, which could potentially be hurtful, if not in the right environment.
Oh, for sure.
In this environment is like so fun. There's not an ounce of malice. No one's mean. Everyone gets it. It's teasing with affection, and it feels like not to overthink it, but it feels like a really safe, warm, squishy place.
It does.
And I really feel like the thing that you and I and everyone that listens all collectively love about this show, like the Canadianity of it, I think that really translated. And I think you could definitely feel that in the show aspect of it. And that was the big unknown.
Yes.
Almost like when you see a magic show like David Copperfield or something on television and there are so many camera cuts and you think, well, yeah, that was just a trick of cameras. That part of me wondered, would the magic and the feeling of being in a room with all the buds, would that come across on screen? And it definitely did.
Yes. It left me with the feeling of just wanting to do it again. And the 2 shows, each show felt like it went by in like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
so that's
fast.
it's always a good feeling, as opposed to it feeling like it's dragging or slow or uncomfortable. There was none of that. It was just so easy and fun because the enthusiasm from the buds. It was the people out there were connected 100%, and it's like handing Timbits as a prize from the bod bucket.
For sure.
Getting a round of applause,
Quarter chicken dinner. And
quarter chicken dinner, getting like a roar.
Even like the buy-in, like Canadian Tire Flyer, lower or higher. As you know, we say a product and the price, and someone has to guess lower or higher. We played suspense music like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and whether they got it right or wrong, the audience went nuts.
Yes.
Like, that's what I mean. The buy-in was so wonderful.
We were doing such dumb stuff. It was like that, and it was just so fun. I mean, it almost felt like what you would do in a house if the power went out.
Yeah, it's pretty lo-fi.
Yeah.
Which is maybe my favorite part of it. It didn't feel like, how can we change the podcast to fit TV? It was, how can we use TV to capture the podcast? And I think that was our intention, and that was the big question mark, and it worked, buds. So don't even worry about it. It's not like we'll suddenly be in shiny denier leather jackets pretending to be people we're not. It was as authentic, as warts and all, as the podcast is, and in fact, those were the moments that it really felt like it kind of came up off its feet.
We may have a couple tan leather numbers from the Hide House in Acton, though. The old Hide House.
What was the Hide House?
That's like this Canadianity staple in Ontario.
I can smell it without even ever having been there.
It's worth the drive to Acton. The old Hide House.
Was worth the drive to Acton their slogan?
Yes.
Because I kind of love that. Is it still there?
I think. I don't know. But it just cemented in my
And is it called
head.
The Old Hide House?
Yes. You should find a commercial on the YouTubes.
The Old Hide House Acton. I found it.
You did?
Oh my gosh, it says it's worth the drive to Acton. Visit the Hide House for ladies and men's leather, shearling, wool, and down coats for all seasons. The Hide House carries a wide selection of wallets, belts, and gloves. They have furniture. How have I not... This is the best part. In Google, it says plan your visit. People typically spend 30 minutes here. How do they know that type of information?
Because it's been there forever. Right? They have stats for decades to draw from.
This is the interesting thing. So here's a few reviews. Great selection of leather coats and accessories, as well as some nice furniture. Nice store layout with unique products. That was good. Store was great service and acceptable. People also search for, this is kind of weird, Denier Leather, that makes sense. Tanner's Restaurant, that must be nearby. McKinnon Family Funeral Home. There's a picture of a coffin.
What?
And Blue Springs Golf Club. Where can I get a belt, a casket for Nan, and a quick 18? Like, why are people searching for those things while they search for the Old Hide House?
Man, I had no idea that you could rock a coffin in there.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, no, you can't get that at the Hide House. That's in the people also search for section.
Oh, I thought they had, part in the back. Coffins.
I know, but what's... That raises so many questions. Here's the Action Hide House Winter 1985. Acton Hide House. There might be an ad. Stand by.
Quick,
Okay, warm greetings to winter. Here's the Acton Hide House winter spot from 1985. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
To winter from Acton. Make this your week to visit the Old Hide House, Canada's largest leather store. Walk warmly into winter with natural fashions from our unrivaled collection of genuine Canadian-made leather, suede, and sheepskin winter wear. Join shoppers from across Ontario. Trust us for quality selection and price. Make this your week to visit Canada's largest leather store, the Old Hide House. It's worth the drive to Acton.
Amazing.
He crushed it.
There's like a series of vignettes in which two people in Hide House leather jackets
Are spinning
talk
around.
about things in different scenarios without sound up.
Don't they have like the Roger Daltrey ones with all the little hangers?
I haven't seen those.
No.
Here's 1989's Great Canadian Coat Sale.
It happens only once a year, and it starts Monday at 10 a.m. It's your opportunity to save up to 50% on Canada's definitive collection of leathers, suede, shearlings, and furs. It's hundreds of dollars off thousands of coats, and it starts Monday, December 26th, 10 a.m. It happens only once a year. The Great Canadian Coat Sale at the Old Hide House. It's worth the drive to Acton.
Just pretend you're the voiceover guy and try 3 different variations on It's Worth the Drive to Acton.
I can't. You do one first.
It's worth the drive to Acton. It's worth the drive to Acton. It's worth the drive to Acton.
It's worth the drive to Acton.
Why do you go up on Acton?
It's worth the drive to Acton. It's worth the drive to Acton.
It's worth the drive to Acton.
It's
That's
worth
too much
the
of a downer.
drive to Acton.
Can you go up on the tin in Acton?
It's worth the drive on Acton. Like that?
Yeah. It's worth the drive to Acton.
Oh, like that.
It's worth the drive to Acton. I love the Old Hide House.
Yeah. I'm glad it's still banging.
Amazing.
Oh, man, that's classic.
A couple of fun things happened during the taping of the pilot. One was you spilling a drink on your crutch.
Yeah. And it went all the way down ice water to my butt.
It traveled.
Oh, yeah, it just burled and wrapped around.
Were you wearing water-resistant trousers? Is that why it traveled so far?
No, it completely, 80% of the water went on my shirt, down my pants, and wrapped around to the ass crack. And to the point where I turned around and you could see, like as if I would, piss myself on the bus.
Taint gravy.
Yeah. Yikes. So the other thing was we had the bod box, which was full of costumes.
Yeah.
So for Joe and Gino, for example, we threw on wigs and headbands. And boy, oh boy, it was something else.
Well, this is the thing. In talking about what this TV show, there are kind of two things at play. In talking about what the TV show should be, there is, first of all, what tools can we give our friends at the unnamed network to help sell it internally and make a case for an undeniable reason why this would work as a TV show.
Yes.
Part 2 is, which is really part 1 because it's where we started, what makes the best TV show version of this thing. And my instinct had always been that we would shoot sketches, like shoot Andrea and Laramie's apartment, and we'd have a laugh track, and we'd have Only Want to Be With You, and it would be a parody of sitcoms at the same time as a funny situation in and of itself.
Yeah.
You had the idea to have this kind of wigs and jackets and stuff on stage that we just kind of throw on as we go into the characters. If I'm being honest, at first I was like, I don't know if that's going to be so cheesy it doesn't work. But there's something that really works about it because we can segue really quickly as we do just in the pod when we're talking about Andrea and Laramie, and suddenly we're freaking talking like them right quick.
As opposed to like shooting to a clip on the video screen. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I had a really interesting conversation with Mark Little this summer, who I work on Mr. D with, who's a really funny guy and was a member of Picnic Face and kind of on the ground level of internet comedy. Yeah. And his thing was, the second you cut away to a sketch, people's expectations go through the roof. Because they're like, okay, they went to this bungalow to shoot this sketch. They must think it's really funny and really worthy of, going to all the effort to shoot this. So suddenly as an audience member, whether you know it or not, you're like, oh, this better be good.
Yeah.
Whereas at least doing it on stage allows us to pursue those little streams of consciousness and flights of fancy in the same way that we can conversationally.
Yeah.
Without having to grind to a dead halt.
And to be honest, like, you're watching a sitcom, watching them put on stuff isn't funny. But in front of people, it's hilarious.
I guess suddenly it's funny, yeah.
Stupid costumes, like it was really, it was classic. It
yeah,
was, like,
well, that's
Andrea
to your credit, man.
With the wig and those red glasses. Oh, it was enough of a transformation to buy into Andrea, but it was also ridiculous at the same time, which was fantastic.
I know. Carol went to Louis' Good Secondhand Clothing in Truro and scored a couple of, like, holy cow, that looks like it was right from Andrea's closet kind of shirts.
Yes.
And the wig and the red glasses.
The highlights.
She also scored a couple of Bonnie options, which we didn't ever get to just because there was so much to do. Mm-hmm. But she obviously has a great jumping off reference point for Bonnie. And for what it's worth, I'm a women's size 18.
The hat was the best.
Yeah. Because you can just throw it on in the middle of the pod. Yeah.
You mind if I smoke in here, right?
Yeah. Oh, is this one of those non-smoking hospitals? Yeah.
You start getting irritated after 5 minutes because you can't have a dart.
Well, I don't understand. You want me to wait around for X-rays, but I can't have a cigarette in here. So yeah, one of us is gonna have to give. I'll give you an X-ray. You give me an ashtray, and we'll call it even. Yeah. So the next stage is... It
sounds like Bonnie's starting to get more gravelly since the original, like when Bonnie came. It sounds
well, do you know
like
what the truth is?
She's got more dart effect.
Well, the truth is, the couple of times recently that I've heard Bonnie back,
that
does sound like Wayne Rostad.
So you're saying that this is closer to the real
I don't know.
Bond.
It's a Baylor twine ball the size of the CN Tower. Next week, on the road again. That's Wayne Rostad.
Okay, now do Bonnie like talking to Jose.
Oh, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Yeah.
See, that's totally different.
It is now, but I think I'm making a conscious effort to make Bonnie deeper.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, because when I do Bonnie like this, that kind of sounds more like Wayne Rostad. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like Bonnie when she's like excited.
Yeah, and she's fired up to see Wolfman Jad on the door. Here's Trevor Bush,
Or see him leave. So, because their relationship.
Wolfman, why don't you earn your keep and pour me a 4-man stiffy with a splash of mix for color,
And she mentions those sausage fingers.
Wolfman definitely has hairy knuckles and sausage fingers.
He's only 5'6", but he's all big and wide.
And bushy-chested.
Huge chest. Big,
and he's wearing a jacket from the old Hyde House that when he was on the radio in Acton, they gave him for free in 1985.
Yeah.
Just because they wanted to see some notables around Acton wearing their stuff.
He's not impartial to the black vest, leather vest, too, from the Hyde House.
We had a couple of those. Speaking of leather vests, the reason we got them for the pilot is because we thought maybe it might be something Gord would wear or something Laramie would wear. We didn't end up wearing them, but you had a spectacular encounter that we should talk about after the break.
Yeah.
And we're going to play a brand new game called Headlines or Head Lies. Mm-hmm. So much still to come on TnT 120.
Before even, I just got the book in the mail. today.
What book?
Our book. The finished
No
product.
way.
Yes. And it looks amazing.
Did you read it?
Well, I just got it like an hour ago. But it looks...
That's quite a
cover,
milestone in a young man's life.
When you see the cover and feel it, the way it's put together, it's awesome. It's perfect.
You need to go to Kinko's and get 500 free business cards that say pitcher, drummer, author.
Yeah, bod. That's
PDA,
right.
bod.
Yeah, bod.
We'll be right back.
Fucking ready. Yellow.
Yellow. You wake me up when you get up, okay?
You do that, I'll be... And you know I never get up before you get up.
No, it's true.
Wake me up when you get up.
Last thing you'll hear me say at a party is, I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
I'm an early ditcher, right?
Oh, you are? Yeah.
I'm Dennis Ditcherson.
But you don't say that. You just say I'm gonna peace.
No, yeah, I own it.
Yeah. You don't be like, oh, okay, hang on.
I own it, but I'm not an out later these days, and I just have such an innate homing pigeon DNA.
Yeah.
Just want to get home.
I remember a funny story about that band. Remember that band BTK? They were rap kind of funky thing. My friend Alex eventually played drums with them, but actually Hawksley Workman was like the side musician that could play everything guy, but he played drums mostly. He's a great drummer, Hawksley, so he was in that original thing too. But I think Hawksley left, and then I just remember hearing this funny story about another drummer that was saying, I don't want to blow him up by saying his name, but he's a bod, he's a good dude. But they were like rehearsing, and he's like, oh, I just got to go to the bathroom. And he goes upstairs, and they hear his car drive away.
No.
Yeah.
He just left?
Yeah. I just thought it was hilarious.
Because he wasn't feeling it?
Yeah, I guess he had to go home or something, or that might have been like...
I just have to go to the bathroom. Why are you taking your sticks?
Exactly. I did that once on a OLP session in LA, up in Malibu.
You just pieced?
Yeah, I was like, I'll be back in a minute, and went down to LA and out, and back to my house that later.
In Toronto?
No, in LA while we were recording.
Like back to Manhattan Beach. So you didn't go to LAX and fly out. You just went
No,
home.
not the Tony Iommi. He's like, when he said he's getting cigarettes to his wife, and he's like, I'm just going down the corner, get a pack of fags, I'll be right back. And he was gone for 8 months.
Yeah, right. Wheels' dad went to Needs for milk. Why would you have done that?
What?
Like, you weren't enjoying the session, or you were tired, or you spaced out, or...
Oh, well, yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. It was, I don't know. Something probably happened.
Yeah.
But whatevs. It was just, I remember piecing at one point, without saying I'm going to piece.
I believe that's called Our Lady piecing.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell us about, was it Friday night, the big songwriters deal?
I think so, yeah. The Songwriters Hall of Fame induction with Bruce.
Cobesy was there.
And Neil Young, yes.
Unbelievable. So when I've been in a room with, luminaries, you can sense them.
Yeah.
Like you can tell where they are just based on the energy in the room. Mm-hmm. What's it like when Neil Young's in the room?
He really is the true essence of a bod.
Is he?
His speech was incredible. You can find it on CBC or on YouTube. His acceptance speech is incredible. He really kind of, you can tell how honest he is and how intelligent he is, and kind of old school, but how Canadian he really is. And he talks about how he really is first and foremost Canadian, and he just happens to live in America, and he's always loved this country, and it's always been where he's from and where he's always going to be from. So
did he talk about rolling into the T-Dot in a hearse
back in the day?
Yeah. No,
he didn't really. He wasn't like that. He didn't really get sentimental about the past, really. He just said that songwriting it really is a gift. He says it just keeps on coming and coming, I don't know how, but it's just he was just feels so blessed by it happening, and he was just the true essence of humble too, the way he was talking, because he was like, I know I can't sing, but you know, like, I get close to the note, I get around it enough, you know, stuff like that. Just super sweet guy.
Was he wearing yoga pants?
No, he had a cool. He's always he's actually, I think he's more stylish than he's ever been.
Is he?
Because he's with Daryl Hannah now. He's kind of, I don't know whether she's stepped his game up, but.
What do you mean? They're a thing?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep. Yeah, she was with him at the after party.
Daryl Palindrome?
Yeah. Splash?
For some reason, I couldn't stop laughing to myself when I imagined asking the question, was he wearing yoga pants? Because I was trying to think of the least likely question to ask about Neil Young's acceptance speech to Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Where? Neil Young in yoga pants. Was he wearing yoga pants like how he always wears yoga pants?
That sounds like Neil Young in yoga pants. You gotta be kidding me. It sounds like an expression.
Oh, for sure.
So he wasn't wearing his Lulus?
No.
No.
And Bruce, again, is the best, too. Like, he gave a great speech. Bernie was there.
Before we get to Bernie, which is I really want to spend some time on.
Yeah.
Did Neil acknowledge Bruce?
Yeah, they were hanging, for sure. It wasn't... like, he was honored by the place. He said Neil was specific to say he kind of didn't want to come because if he did it would all end. Just because of that feeling of.
But did he shout out Bruce in his speech?
I can't quite remember. I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't remember.
So did you go backstage and you saw Cobesy and you saw everybody?
Yeah. No, I saw everybody, and I've never met Bruce, but I just he just such a bod, and he seems like such a nice guy. They were both getting hounded like crazy.
Yeah, of course.
So I was just left them. I was hanging with Timbo, and Neil was obviously, I've met Neil and he's always been a sweetheart. So it's like I don't know if I just say, hey Neil, I love you again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not really necessary other than being honored by having him there and seeing him and stuff.
Right. What are you going to say, really?
Yeah, it's I don't want to, it's I just feel like it is what it is for that. I love him.
Well, see, next time you see him, you can say, do you want to hear something funny? My friend Jonathan imagined you in yoga pants.
Well, the first time I met him 3 or 4 times in a month and a half. So it actually got to the point where he remembered me. So I'm I'm okay with that thing, and as opposed to the reintroduction and then him being I'm not sure. You know what I mean? So, but I remember
interviewing Ellen Page when I was guest hosting Q the year she was nominated for an Oscar, and I said, how weird is that? Because she said you kind of go out on the press tour with I think it was Johnny Depp and George Clooney and all these people, and I said, how weird is that? And she said the weirdest thing is when it stops being weird.
Yeah.
And it's Johnny, pass me a muffin. So if you see Neil Young a half a dozen times in a month, it must just be Neil, doesn't it?
Yeah. And Elliot too. Elliot Roberts, his manager, is always there, and he's fantastic as well. And those are both legends, man. And the Arkells obviously played. They played with Randy Bachman, and they played with Alex Lifeson. They did Cinnamon Girl and Keep on Rockin' in the Free World.
Wow.
How'd they Neil's do? In the right in the front watching, so that was
crazy.
Cool. And he was boogieing too, so that was
they blew the roof off the place.
Yeah, they did. And I got to hang with Tim before. Lisa,
so
Tim,
can I ask a question about something like that?
What's that?
I assume whoever's organizing the evening approaches Arkells and approaches Randy Bachman and says, guys, here's what we're thinking of doing, right? Mm-hmm. I assume Arkells had a rehearsal with Randy?
Yeah, for sure.
And is that where they work Alex out, I'll do this first, you do that solo?
Yeah, definitely.
And does Randy decide that because he's kind of an elder statesman, or how does that part work?
They probably play, and they just kind of trade back and forth to the point where it doesn't really feel
forced or something.
Forced. And I think, from what I remember, I think it was Alex was on the first one, and then Randy came for the second one kind of thing. So
right.
There was all just kind of trading licks, having blast. And Randy did
what an honor.
Randy did a whole acoustic set slash, I guess it was kind of like a talk and a storytelling about his dealings with Neil.
And how he gave Neil his start?
Well, I mean, Neil himself said his favorite guitar player was Randy Bachman when he first started. So
wow.
That's like, he doesn't really have to, you know what I mean? In Winnipeg.
Yeah, right, it's a Winnipeg thing.
Yeah, like Randy was a hero already in the early 60s in Winnipeg. I mean, it was Lenny Bro and was kind of the elder statesman hero. And Randy was kind of the next guy.
Man, what a big deal that is. And how incredible and awesome is it for our Cals to get dealt in on an evening like that? And what does that say about their profile and level of respect in the industry? That's wild.
No, it was great. And then to hang with Tim was awesome, as usual, because you know how fun it is to chill with him and Lisa. And we're just having a nice little, some drinks across the street from the place. And actually, I got the phone call there from my mom that she said my dad had a heart attack.
Jeez.
And so obviously I was like, what the fuck, what? And she said, yeah, he's had a heart attack, he's okay. He's at the hospital in Huntsville. He collapsed for a long time, obviously because the ambulance didn't get there quick, but he was just it was just very agonizing, I guess, for him, so he got to the hospital and he was fine. I talked to my brother. I called Jetson and Jenny that night and James and let them know. And next day, Jetson went up there and with Jenny as well to visit the hospital. And it turns out it wasn't a heart attack, which is great. It was, but it was a really bad lung infection because he has COPD and could have been just as terrible because he couldn't breathe and he was having seizures on like a nightly basis. Like it was happening a lot, and he, kind of not, he should have gone to the hospital like a long time before. I mean, he should have been getting oxygen for the last couple years, and I think he was assuming that the puffer that he got was enough, but there was just a lot of damage being done, and poor guy's like 125 pounds and very frail, but the fact that he's there and he got himself sorted, hopefully he can get better now and start putting on weight. We're gonna move them from the house in Baysville. It's too remote. We're gonna probably.
I was gonna ask, is that why it took so long for an ambulance to get there? Because of where they are?
Well, yeah, and just I think my parents, just the situation, and my dad and my mom just not really understanding what was going on, and the fact that he was having seizures before might have thought that like it's not as bad or as what they thought it might have been, so it might have been happening longer as well,
And they're from a generation where you just kind of figured it out yourself, right? And
kind of
hospitals kind of the last resort.
I mean, they're both pretty good if stuff's bad, but probably both are also guilty of like a little bit of negligence in terms of getting yourself sorted on a daily basis, mentally and physically,
Yeah.
So,
well, scary for you, and one of those weird nights that like you're at this really fun thing with people you love, and it's exciting and fun, and then you never know what life's going to throw at you in one quick phone call, right?
No, yeah, and it's also been kind of eating at me anyway the last couple of years of them being up there for the winter. It's just, if it snows, they're snowed in. It's just they're They're getting too elderly physically to have to deal with that kind of life. So we're gonna actually move them. We're looking into getting them to Aurelia. So it's the Ronnie to Aurelia, Ronnie and Burl. We're moving them to Aurelia. So we're gonna have to sell their house and
it's a real rite of passage for a kid when the kid becomes kind of officially caretaker and parent.
Well, yeah, but I mean they're very aware and they can do everything. It's just I think things have kind of swept up in the last even year and a half where it's just kind of been a little bit overwhelming, and my mom probably just doesn't think anything of it, because when you feel physically able and you don't feel sick or anything, you think everything's fine, and you can walk and you can talk and those kind of things. You kind of think everything's okay if you can do those things, you know what I mean? And I'm sure you understand that with your mom.
Totally.
A lot of the kind of, oh, it's fine, no, it's no big deal. And
well,
that's not the way to do it.
I know from having gone through it recently too, every medical professional will tell you the longer that people are able to kind of care for themselves and stay on their own and use problem-solving skills to kind of function in life, the better it is. Mm-hmm. Because that's how you keep that muscle kind of in shape. And the second you make a change, it can be confusing, and you can see downhill change fast. Yeah. But it's the wrestling match of how long are they able to stay on their own before it's not ideal for them, and it's more important for them to be around medical treatment if they need it. Like, not fun to think about, but it's real life stuff. The one thing that I will say is I was surprised to learn how many systems there are in place to help adult kids get their aging parents into a proper situation, and was reminded once again how lucky we are to live in this country where that kind of thing exists. Like, there are people whose job it is to come and meet with them and figure out what would be a better home solution for them. Like, what a relief.
Yeah. No, I mean, and because like the original, even what my mom told me, she said he had a heart attack and is going to require surgery, and I'm like, well, that's horrible. And then the next day, changing to a bad lung infection and the COPD really flaring up and being terrible to the point of needing oxygen.
Right.
So, her assessment of what happened, makes me think like, well, yeah, they both have to be in a place where there's hospitals nearby, where they can just actually go walk to get some groceries and milk and stuff, and as opposed to driving into town. So.
Well, as I said to you earlier this week, I didn't even really realize the low-level constant stress I felt wondering if everything was okay when my mom still lived on her own, until she was in a place where there were people around, or someone would notice if she was having trouble, or she could easily get help. The relief that I felt once she was in a more suitable situation was awesome. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you were touched by the crazy outpouring of bod support. Ronnie's a staple in our lives.
Yeah.
And a really popular figure.
Yep. And
that was really touching to witness, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, so many tweets and direct messages and texts from friends. Just everybody just has such a connection with him, and they know how strong he is and what he's been through. And they really, and he really appreciates that. I mean, I told him that there was a massive support system online, and he knows that people think of him that way, and he really, really appreciates it. And he's just understanding to all of it, and as strong as he is, he's had a pretty hard life. So he appreciates the support, and that's my mom too. They go through a lot of stuff, and people are very loving, and it's wonderful.
Well, things are stabilized, it sounds like, which is the best possible outcome.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of, remember the book a few years ago, Shit My Dad Says?
Yeah.
And then it was a sitcom on CBS. So this guy started a Twitter handle, and he just was tweeting like stuff that his dad said that he thought was funny or silly or crazy or whatever. And suddenly he had 2 million followers. And suddenly he had a sitcom in development at CBS. And the only person that didn't know about it was his dad.
Yeah.
And he had to tell his dad, like, just so you know, you're actually a huge folk hero to a lot of people, and people know a lot about you. And it sounds like the dad's only reaction was, well, at least you have a job now.
That's classic.
There you go. At least Ronnie is well aware of his folk hero status.
Yeah, I gotta say, I gotta thank Jetson for a lot of the stuff that he's been doing. Like, I wasn't there, and he really has been like the first responder for like everything from, you know, fixing the lawnmower or the tractor, or getting their car started, or, you know, putting the roof on. All the things that he's done to help them. That needs to kind of, he needs to be less worrisome of having to take the burden on those kind of things as well. So that's
by the way,
another
Jet,
reason. Yeah, nice bod stuff.
That's when you really find your adult sibling bond, I think, when you have to team up and sort that stuff out.
Yeah.
You do banking, I'll do medical. You do real estate, I'll do going to visit, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
I also loved, before we take a break, Toolsy's tweet that there isn't a hospital strong enough to keep Ronnie in.
I love that. Yes.
Love that. As
Tools.
it should be.
Yes.
TnT T120 continues after this.
Cocktail, please.
Yellow?
What's going on, Big Nuts?
Oh, come on, Kobe. I'm busy.
What are you so busy doing? You can't talk to your old buddy for 5 minutes.
I'm busy. I gotta do registration.
Are they working you that hard? You can't even meet me down at Booster Juice real quick?
Surprise. You gotta call me and bother me when it's so busy.
Oh, come on, Wedgie.
What?
I feel like your priorities are really out of whack. You don't have any time for your friends anymore. You're so busy working a Purelator doing stupid paperwork.
Yeah, well, because I work at Purelator doesn't mean you're not doing nothing at home, eating pizza and playing video games.
So what? You lead the life you choose. I won, sounds like.
I'm busy. I'll call you after lunch.
Well, when's your lunch, Big Nuts?
In 45 minutes.
Well, why don't you just put me on hold? I'll wait.
But I need this line. I have to finish this paperwork.
Oh, listen to you, Big Nuts, putting your stupid job before your friends.
Come
Must
on,
be
Kobe.
nice.
I gotta work. I gotta go.
Whatever.
Bye, Kirby.
See you, Wedgie.
Andrea, can I help with this paperwork?
I love it. Kurt works at Purelator. Oh, should we do scene 2? Andrea comes into Kurt's office.
Yeah.
Kurt, I freaking hate to bother you, I really do. But do you remember the invoice I gave you from the McPherson account? It's been about a fortnight ago now.
Let me take a look over here.
Well, he just called me and said he never got his package.
I'm pretty sure that went out, Andrea.
Well, I'd love to call him back and say we're pretty sure, but I think we can do better than that. Do you?
I'm doing I can't do any better.
Kurt, can I tell you something?
Yeah?
I think that I believe in you a little more than you believe in yourself. And I think you just need to get your confidence up. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to come over for supper. I'm going to grab a couple of DiGiorno's on the way home. And you can meet my roommate Laramie, who has all kinds of confidence and no reason to really be confident.
Can the car carry my bike?
Yeah, I'm sure we can put it in the car. That's no problem. And we'll take you over. You can meet Laramie and see if it rubs off on you. I've been waiting for him to rub off on me for about 2 years now, ever since we became roommates. But that's a whole different story.
How come I haven't heard of Laramie before?
Kurt, what would happen if you just popped your collar? Just, here, pop your collar for a second. Take your glasses off.
That feels weird.
Ever handsome? Are you kidding me, Supermans? Freaking good-looking guy underneath all that nerd stuff. Kurt, look at you.
Willie?
Yeah, really. You need to believe in yourself the way I believe in you.
Oh, thanks, Andrea.
When was the last time you kissed a girl, Kurt?
Never.
Ever, sweet. I'm
Never,
going to tell you
ever.
something. One of these days, you're going to meet that special girl, and I'm right jealous of her already, just thinking about the catch she's going to get.
Can you help me meet a girl?
No, I don't think so, but it's like when you pull up a lobster trap and there's like an albino one in there. That's what you are. Like, you look kind of weird at first, but you're actually right special because you're so different.
Thanks, Andrea.
Now keep your eyes off my butt as I walk out, okay?
I'm sorry.
I seen you looking at it in the lunchroom. Kurt, my eyes are up here, but...
Sorry, Andrea.
It's okay. You're not made of kryptonite.
Thanks for helping me with the paperwork.
Aww. Andrea has a work friend.
Man.
Kurt.
Kurt.
I love Kurt.
And
like the most solid dude ever, just needs a little confidence.
And who's this big nuts guy?
I know.
That guy.
Oh. What's going on, big nuts? Oh, you don't have any time for your old buddy? Like that guy. Everyone knows that guy.
Is that like his roommate at home, or is he just an annoying friend?
Yeah, probably
Right?
went to like a high school buddy.
Yeah. Just
Happened to live in the same place, like never hung out when they went to school together, but because they both live in Mississaugas now. Oh, what's going on, big nuts? And he always pretends like when Kurt says he has to go back to work, this guy's like, well, I have stuff to do too. I have to go too, that guy.
Oh, man.
Well, I better let you go. I have to go anyway. It doesn't matter who has to go. We all have to go.
Oh. Hey,
okay, we're going to play headlines or headline?
let's play headlines or headline.
I
I
can't even remember how we came up with the idea, but it's very simple.
Yeah.
I mean, it also occurred to me as I was doing a bit of research. I just want to talk like Kurt now.
Yeah.
It occurs to me that Jay Leno played a variation on it. It wasn't even a game. He just read funny headlines.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of them out there, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, headlines or headlie? I will go first.
Okay.
We played Lyric or Lie the other night. I love that game.
Yeah, it's a classic.
It's classic.
Gotta always have at least one theory of a dead man in there.
I know, because you get to kind of soft diss bands,
Yeah.
but it's also a fun exercise. I mean, we have a few of those games like Lyric or Lie or Plot or Not that are really fun. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Headline or headlie? Ready?
Yep.
Oh, Beehive. Austin Powers movie starts nostalgic hair trend.
There's no way.
Oh, Beehive.
That's
Austin Powers movie starts nostalgic hair trend.
that's a head lie.
That's a headline.
Yes.
Good for you.
Nice. Okay.
Hit me.
Headline or head lie? Statistics show that teen pregnancy drops off significantly after 25.
Come on.
Headline or head lie?
Headline?
Yes, that's a headline.
Come on.
Yes, legits. Okay,
Well, here's one kind of in the same vein. State population to double by 2040. Babies to blame.
That sounds like a headline.
Lie or line?
Line. Headline.
Yeah, that's a headline.
Damn right it is. Okay.
Hit me.
Homicide victims rarely talk to police. Or, sorry, homicide victims rarely talk to police.
I mean, it's so dumb, it must be real. Headline.
It's a headline.
This is what I don't understand. How does that make it to print?
Well, I think they do it just for bait, right? To get people to talk about it
Do you?
sometimes. I think so.
So you think they do dumb headlines on purpose?
Yeah, so just so people will be like, what the heck is this? And you get talked about. As opposed to nothing, you know what I mean? Like it's just another headline. Otherwise, I guess.
But I get the sense it used to be that the people who came up with the headlines weren't the people that wrote the articles. Mm-hmm. So it's like, is there a baked headline squad that goes in at 6 p.m. and comes up with the headlines for tomorrow?
I think it's the writer of the column, right? Generally.
Is it?
Yeah. I think, unless the editor probably sweetens it or whatever.
Well, I'm sure it's very different now, but I think the way it used to be was there was a headline guy.
I'm assuming that probably the editor has the most say in that.
Cops make arrest in bathroom after smelling crack.
That's a headline, because that's what would happen.
That's a headline.
Yes.
And so let's add a layer. You have to guess if the headline writer knew. Like accident or on purpose.
Oh, I don't think
because there's no way you could say after smelling crack without going.
I don't think anybody would think that's not on purpose. Anyway, ready for this one?
Yes.
Obese woman dies in minivan fire. Legs split open like hot dogs. Headline or headline?
Oh, come on. That would be so disrespectful. Oh. Headline.
It's a headline. But you could see it in some like crazy British paper or something. You know, like the ones that get really extreme headlines.
One-armed man applauds the kindness of strangers.
Well, that sounds like what it would be. So if that was the case, so I would say headline.
One-armed man applauds the kindness of strangers is a headline.
That's right.
Yeah.
Legit. Okay. Chick accuses male colleagues of sexism. Headline or headline. Chick accuses male colleagues of sexism.
Okay, so that's her last name. Because that's the only way. That's a headline.
That's a headline.
Condom truck tips, spills load.
Okay.
Condom truck tips, spills load.
Sounds like if you might be stepping over the line if that was a headline, so I'm going to say headlie.
That's a headline.
Oh, wow. See, that's
wow,
it.
someone was earning their money.
If they say that, I mean, the hot dogs thing might have happened.
Splits legs like hot dog. Gross.
Okay. You ready for this one?
Yes.
Man kills coworker for popping bubbles. Sorry. Man kills coworker for popping bubble wrap for 2 hours. Man kills coworker for popping bubble wrap for 2 hours.
I'm going to say that's a headlie.
That is a headlie.
A's hole keeps getting deeper. A baseball headline.
Okay, like that.
A's hole keeps getting deeper.
I mean, if people were like following the Oakland A's, I could see that maybe slipping in if it was really bad. Headline.
That's a headline.
Yeah.
They must have known, right? That there's no way you could not know that.
No. City unsure why sewer smells. Headline or headlie?
Man.
City unsure why sewer smells.
Headline.
It's a headline.
Midget sues grocer, cites belittling remarks.
That has to be a headlie.
Headline.
Oh, from the 60s?
Probably.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, going old school midge.
Jeez. Erection of cock statue Tuesday.
Okay. I could see if it was the Taggart Tribune, that would be the cover story. But there's no way someone would print that for real. Headline.
If the name is cock, is the guy's name. Erection of cock statue Tuesday. It's spelled different.
What, C-O-Q-U-E?
Yes.
No way. No way.
Headline.
Hooker named Indoor Athlete of the Year.
No way. That is a lie. Headline.
That's a headline.
It's a headline?
Yeah.
We've had like one.
Hooker named Indoor Athlete of the Year.
Local
Last name is Hooker.
Local child wins gun from fundraiser. Headline or headlie?
Oh my gosh.
Local child wins gun from fundraiser.
Headline.
It's a headline, Bod.
Can you imagine?
No. That's it.
Headline or headlies. It's fun.
Good times, quick.
Part of the thing is, though, the real headlines are crazier than the fake ones we can come up with.
Yeah, with exception of the hot dogs one.
Yes.
That was a little extreme.
And cock statue.
The erection of the cock statue.
So tell the people about Bernie.
So I got to talk to Bernie at the after party.
Like, was this the weirdest night of your life all around?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of emotions, for sure.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it was... When you're feeling that way, there's nothing better than a distraction, you know?
Yeah.
So to go to the show after that with the best distraction ever...
Yeah.
is good.
But then you're having fun, and party's like, oh, I feel weird for having fun.
No, it wasn't that. I just thought you kind of forget about it for a second, and then once I remember on the drive home, that's when it hit me again. Then,
Yeah.
So that was kind of, it was like I said. You mentioned, you saying it was the craziest. It was probably the most emotional day I've had in a long time, years.
I'm sure.
For sure. Because
So what's Bernie saying?
A bit low. What's that?
What's Bernie saying?
So yeah, I said hi, Bernie. I've spoke to Bernie on the phone before. We talked about that. So we had met in a way. So and emails and stuff. So we are aware of each other. Followers on Twitter, bods. So
So he follows you on Twitter.
Yeah, I think he follows TnT as well.
No.
Yeah, I talked to him about the sketch and how much we love doing it. And he said he was aware of it. He said he heard about it. He said he hadn't heard it, but he heard that it was happening. So
Was your tummy right, Friggy, when you're bringing it up?
I was pretty fired up, yeah. Me or
So
him?
I need to know the actual words that you used to bring it up. Like, how did you bring it up?
Oh, I said we do this sketch of you and Gord, and he says I've heard about this. And then he says, "But you know that I don't manage Gord, I manage Bruce." And I go, "Yeah, I know. We know that it's Bernie Fiedler, but it's kind of funny to have the grind of Gord and Bruce and you, and it just makes more sense." And he actually laughed. He's like, "Yeah, I understand. It's fun because there's not really any truth to the relationship. Same thing goes for Joe and Gino. Like it's all BS of like where they are or who their parents are or family member. It's all
Whether there's a rivalry between them, we couldn't say.
Exactly, for sure. Like it's all made up. So he appreciates that, and he kind of gave his blessing on it for sure. So that's great to know that he's supportive in a way. So he says he's looking forward to hearing it as well.
So is he looking at you like kind of with a twinkle in his eye?
Smiles, all smiles.
Yeah, okay,
yes,
I love
for
it.
sure. It was great. He's amazing. He's a legend. I mean, he really is. He changed kind of. He's one of those people that would go down in history in America as a manager, as well. Just how hard he worked and what he created and the record companies and all the amazing stuff. That
So in real life, who does he manage aside from Bruce?
Just Bruce.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's why he says he's kind of semi-retired, mostly retired, except for Bruce.
But Bruce has a new record.
Yeah, Bruce has a new record, and Bruce doesn't tour that much as well. So it's probably both of them have more time off, and I think Bruce is really focused on his family too. So in San Fran. So
why does Bruce have kids?
Yeah, yes, I know at least one. I believe he has a young daughter, because I know he has kids from his previous marriage, I think.
So Neil Young is with Daryl Hannah. Who's Bruce with? Who would be the most shocking? You'll never guess who Bruce Coburn is with.
Yeah,
I've got mine.
Who?
Raven from That So Raven.
What? The kid?
Yeah, well, she's not a kid anymore.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Like, who would be your most... What? Really?
No, man. Raven.
Bruce Coburn is dating Courtney Cox from Friends. That'd be a weird one.
That's a fun game. Who's he
It's
dating?
really fun.
Who's he dating or who's she dating is a fun game.
Maybe the game is called No Way. So tell me who Bruce Coburn is dating.
Okay. Guess who Bruce Coburn is dating?
Who?
Salil Moon Fry.
No way. Punky Brewster?
Okay, now you do one.
Okay.
You say I'm
Guess.
yeah.
You'll never guess who Bruce Coburn's dating.
Who?
Pamela Wallen.
No way. Okay, now you do it.
You'll never guess. Remember, Bruce Coburn.
Yeah, of course.
Remember we just saw him at...
Love Bruce Coburn.
Yeah, we just saw him in concert at Mariposa.
Yeah.
Guess who he's dating now?
Who?
Hillary Clinton. Don't leave me hanging on the no way.
Hey,
What?
guess who Bruce Coburn's dating right now?
Bruce Coburn? Huh. I don't know. Who?
Linda Hamilton.
No way.
Because the
No way's fun
connection,
because there are so many different takes you can do
the
on it.
connection through James Cameron at a party. back
Guess
in the
who,
day.
by the way, guess who Bruce Coburn's dating right now?
Who?
Carling Bassett Seguso, the tennis player.
No way.
Yeah.
Guess who Bruce Coburn's dating right now?
Who?
Jerry Hall.
No way. Is she the Spice Girl?
Oh, Mick Jagger's ex.
Oh, yeah, right. That would actually kind of work.
It would, right?
If you, okay, Bruce Coburn's a friend of yours,
Yeah.
and you're like, Bruce, I have the perfect person. I'm going to set you up with them. Who would it be? I know mine. Like, you don't have to know them, but it has to be a celebrity.
Oh, so I gotta say somebody?
So let's play a game called Bruce Coburn Matchmaker.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so you're Bruce Coburn. You ready? Bruce,
Yeah.
I have a friend. I know this is crazy. I know it doesn't work. You probably won't be into it. But I just have a friend that I just have this feeling that you guys would be perfect together.
Yeah? Who's that?
Susan Sarandon.
Oh, I'll go out to dinner with her. Sure.
Yeah, sure you would. Can't you actually see that, though? She's an activist.
No.
She's age appropriate. Like, that could work.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah? What's up, Jeremy?
Okay, yeah. I got a great, I met her, I talked to her. And she said,
I can see where this is going. I don't want to be set up
no,
on
you
a
got to hear
blind
me
date.
out. Hear me out.
I don't want to be set up on a vision-impaired date.
No, I met this person, and I think they'll be perfect for you, Bruce. Just hear me out, all right?
This never works. Who is it?
Vicky Gabbro. She's hilarious. You're gonna love her.
I mean, it's not crazy. Two Canadian icons right there. Okay, we have to go, but here's a variation on the game.
Okay.
We're at a restaurant,
Yeah.
and we look over, and Bruce Coburn is there,
Yeah.
and this is isn't that blank that he's with? Ready?
Okay.
Hey, Tags.
Yeah.
Isn't that Cobesy at the next table?
Copesy. Yeah.
Look who he's with.
What? God.
Vanna White.
Vanna White. Okay, now, hey, isn't that Bruce Coburn over there?
Where?
Over there. Look who he's
It is. I can tell by the chin dimple.
Look who he's with. It's Catherine O'Hara.
Cobesy. See you next week, bud.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Boom gong gang go doom gong ju boom bounce doom do da doom bam bam ticka doom down.